Hey there, Wastelanders, and welcome back to War Games News Radio. In this video, we're going to be going over all of the newly announced releases coming for Fallout Wasteland Warfare and Fallout factions in the upcoming Wilds of Appalachia wave. If you hadn't already guessed, this wave is going to be very much focused on content from Fallout 76, but it also includes some updated core faction boxes for both the Super Mutants and Raiders that are moving from resin to plastic. We here at WGNR had a sneaking suspicion that this was coming our way. In fact, over a year ago, we put out our first video talking about this upcoming 76 wave, and lo and behold, it has arrived, or it is arriving very soon. Modiphius gave us a look at what's coming in the first half of this wave on a live stream last week, and these releases do not disappoint. So grab yourself a Nuka-Cola, sit back, and let's go through all of the fun stuff coming in the first half of Wilds of Appalachia. As mentioned, this wave brings two updated starter boxes to two of the oldest factions in Wasteland Warfare, Super Mutants and Raiders. These new kits will be in plastic, not resin, like the old ones, and will have a ton of modular weapon and customization options, just like the plastic T-45 kit, which came out last year, and the newly released Nuka World Raider core boxes. Modiphius has confirmed that these new boxes will replace the older resin ones, so basically, once the old ones are gone, they're gone, and they won't be coming back. Each model in these new kits is supposed to have at least 2 different weapon options, while some of them even have 3, and included on the sprues are tons of greebly little bits to customize your minis as you need. You can see here these kits look stunning, all painted up by Modiphius's in-house brush wizard, Callum, and the sculpts are just amazing. I mean, they're similar to the old ones, but they've got a lot more dynamic and options than those mono-pose resin ones. Modiphius says that the other two oldest factions in the game, Survivor and Brotherhood of Steel, will also be getting this plastic treatment in the next half of the wave, which we haven't even seen anything of yet. But we do know that those two core kits will also be shifting over to the modular plastic option. As a bit of a side note, we also got a roadmap update for Fallout factions beyond the initial 3 Raider gangs that we've seen so far in the Nuka World. Well, currently, the Nuka World gangs are the only factions with specific rules for this rule set. Modiphius says that many army rules are coming to let you play other factions in what they're calling these get-you-by lists. Modiphius says it's all about letting people who have their current miniatures get playing with Fallout factions. We also found out that the Cult of the Mothman is going to be getting a rules set for factions very soon, which brings us right back to the Fallout Wasteland Warfare stuff and the actual mini releases for Wave 10. And we're going to get 3 different playable factions in this first half of the wave: the Cult of the Mothman, the Zatan aliens, and Cryptids. First up, let's take a look at the 3 separate boxes which will make up the Cult of the Mothman faction, starting first with the Mothman Clergy. As mentioned, this will be a resin kit and will come with 6 different Mothman cultists. And hands down, the coolest one has to be this Mothman Priest. They've got a little totem there, a ritual dagger, and a really cool gas mask slash clergy mask. It's super creepy, and I love it. The rest of the squad have a bunch of different weapon options. We got some male cultists, some female cultists, and even one carrying a big old incinerator, which just looks awesome. And then we have the Mothman followers, which just take this creepy aesthetic vibe to the next level. They've all got these terrifying gas masks or skull masks, a wide different range of weapons, some Molotov cocktails in there, some handmade rifles, shotguns, just all the crazy butt nasty cult nonsense that you've grown to love in Fallout 76. And last but certainly not least is the Mothman, or Mothmen, I guess, in this case, themselves. This set will include 3 different cute and cuddly Mothmen, one with the wings sort of folded into the body, one with the wings wrapped around, and one fully spread out and taking flight, which just has to be my favorite so far. There are a handful of different variants of Mothmen that you can find in Fallout 76 itself, so really curious to see how folks are going to paint these up at home. As far as faction rules, we got a little bit of a hint, at least in Fallout factions, how the Mothman Cult will play. Developers say that they will be much more of a debuff faction, so they'll do a good job of screwing with your opponents rather than being a very OP faction themselves. So very curious to see how that's going to play out on the tabletop and if they'll have similar sort of rules in Wasteland Warfare. Moving on to our next playable faction, we've got Aliens, or better known as Zetans. From the reveal stream, it looks like we're going to get 2 boxes to start off with this faction from the stars, starting off with the Invaders from Beyond. Now this box set is really exciting because up until now there's only been one Zatan model available in the entire range, and that was found in the original Fallout Wasteland Warfare box set, and I believe you might have been able to find him online as well. But now the hunt is over because we're going to have a full set and full faction with these little green cuties. Not only that, we've got the Flatwoods Monster in there, which is a super great model, and I imagine is going to work as sort of the command and control for this faction, and an alien drone. But that's not all we got as far as the Zetans, because the Supreme Commander pack will come with 2 models equipped in alien power armor. I haven't spent that much time on 76 myself, so I've never encountered one of these in game, and I believe they only appeared in a seasonal event, but oh my Adam, do these look amazing. The box is going to have 2 different models, so you'll be able to kit them out with either the alien bonking stick or their alien shooting gun, and different head options, either the open helmet or the sort of space bubble option as well. Like the Cult of the Mothman, we got a bit of a hint as to the Zetans faction rules, and apparently they're going to rely on teleportation, which is kind of neat, so you can maybe expect these guys to be bamfing around the board and showing up at unexpected places. They'll also have a lot of heavy firepower and maybe a bit of a glass cannon, as it were, and they'll be very expensive, especially when it comes to caps in those alien power armor. So it might be a bit of a balancing act to have a really heavy, powerful Zatan force, but they might be a little low on the model count or on hit points. And last up for new factions added into this first half of the wave, we have Cryptids. Now this is going to be a slightly different faction loadout than you have with creatures, and will be specific to some of the sort of super critters, I'll call them, that you find in Fallout 76. As of right now, the list for this faction is going to be pretty small. Some of the only models we've seen so far involve the Wendigo, which are a ghoul variant. This Wendigo kit will come with 3 models to add some extra powerful ghouls to your forces, as well as the Wendigo Colossus, which is an absolutely stunning piece by the Modifius crew, and Callum did an amazing job painting up this disgusting monstrosity. This thing is huge. Apparently it's going to be in and around Mirelurk Queen size, so, you know, bigger than a behemoth, but not quite up to Liberty Prime. So yeah, I expect this to be an epic centerpiece model in a lot of cryptid forces. I also imagine units from other factions like the Flatwoods Monster, the Mothman, and potentially other creatures coming down the line like Scorchbeast, Sheep Squatch, you know, all the weird ones from 76. They're likely going to end up into this cryptid faction as well. But again, we know very little about this right now, other than the fact that it will be separate from what we know in the creatures faction. Staying in the ballpark of ghoulish type creatures, we have a brand new box of ghouls coming out called the Ghoul Remnants. Unlike the old standard pack of bog standard ghouls, these all have a little extra flair and character to them, not just in the minis and the sculpts. As you can see, we have a firefighter here, a military officer, a cop, all kinds of fun things. But apparently there will be different rules for these different types of ghouls as well, to add a little bit more spice to your ghoul army. Regardless of the new rules these units may or may not have, I'm really excited to see some more and different ghoul sculpts coming, just to add a little bit more flavor to the faction. And finally, to round things out, we got 3 different boxes which will help top up previous waves, one for survivors, super mutants, and raiders. For survivors, we got the Foundation Authority box, which includes 3 named characters which were introduced to Fallout 76 in the Wastelanders update. They include Paige, Ward, and Aubrey, who are 3 of the main characters you can find in the Foundation settlement. We haven't seen the unit rules or if there will be any special Fallout 76 survivor type faction variants coming in the wave, but I think it's safe to say we're going to see the survivors get a little bit of extra treatment when it comes to this 76 wave. Personally, I'm hoping that survivors and vault dwellers kind of get their own sort of separate factions down the line, but that's just me. Moving on to the Raiders of Fallout 76, we got the Crater Warlords box, and very similar to the Foundation Authority, we have 3 named characters which inhabit the Raider Crater. For this box, we got Meg, Lev, and Johnny, and I gotta say, that Johnny pose is just too good. It's giving me some real Wasteland 007 vibes, and I'm absolutely here for it. And lastly, in these top-up boxes is probably the one I think is the coolest, and that's the Super Mutant Floaters. This box will have parts to make 3 different floaters and even have options for whether or not you want to make them a fire floater or an ice floater or a toxic floater. You've got the options right in the box, which I absolutely love. And this is one that fans of both the original games and Fallout 76 have been asking for a long time. And personally, I think this is a great way to go. It will help satisfy both the OG crowd and the new G Bethesda crowd, and it just adds an iconic, classic, revamped Fallout baddie to Wasteland Warfare. And like all previous Wasteland Warfare waves, there is a promo mini for Wave 10, or at least the first half of Wave 10, and I gotta be honest with you folks, this one went completely over my head because the mini is Mr. Fuzzy / Brenda? Yeah, I haven't played nearly enough 76 to have any frame of reference for who this character is. I mean, I know the Mr. Fuzzy stuffed animals. You find them around different places in the game, but Brenda? Yeah, that's too far for me. But hey, maybe that's just me. So leave a comment down below and let me know what I'm missing here when it comes to Brenda. Well, there you have it, sports fans. All of the first half of Wave 10 releases coming your way. I have to say, if this is a sign of things to come, then I think we are looking pretty good with the rest of Wave 10. I know there were some thoughts going into it about how a full year of 76-ish related content would not go over all that well, but I am very pleasantly surprised with what we've seen so far and hoping that that train just keeps rolling. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss our next video. And if you really enjoy what we do here at WGNR, then follow the link in the description to our Patreon page, or click the little join button here on YouTube, where for as little as $3 Canadian per month, you can help us make more videos more often for you to enjoy. Plus, you get your name on the credits roll with all of these fine supporters here and get all kinds of kickbacks like double entry into giveaways, access to polls, which help us to drive the content here on the channel, and you could even become a named character in a future battle report or video. So thanks again for watching, and stay tuned because, as always, WGNR will be back.